Absolutely.
So most probably we should be live at this point, and let's see.
Perfect. So I'm just checking the YouTube.
Right?
Arjun's advisor said pretty much shut the live stream immediately. Right? I mean,
Right?
that's it start. So yeah, I guess let's grab the link and
Yeah.
hopefully just copy the video URL. I'm just sending it to you, right?
Perfect.
Putting it to Tux, putting it to Destroyer.
Perfect. Tux also right.
So yeah, I guess that is it, right? I mean, let's start.
Yeah. All right. So let's start the official episode number 70. So hello everyone, and welcome to the Open Talks episode number 70. In this episode, we are going to talk about three major things. First is Google. I mean, Google fired an employee. What could be the reason, right? What did he do? Like, what was the major thing that he did? So that's it. Second is Bluetooth is now hackable using another vulnerability. So first we already talked, I guess, 5 episodes back. Now there is another vulnerability. So let's see what that is. And third thing is German is there to save us. So, yeah, interestingly, that is, I mean, someone is taking steps to which can basically benefit the customers, right? So let's see what are those steps. So I guess let's do the intro, right?
Sure.
All right, all right. So
We
yeah,
are
the
back.
first we are absolutely right. So the first topic is Google like literally fired an employee. Okay, so the reason was like imagine a scenario: you wake up, you turn off your alarm, but alarm doesn't go off. I mean, how irritating that is, right? And that was a bug found in Google's phone app,
I mean, there
and
is like two bugs. There is one bug was that it doesn't even ring at all, right?
oh man, yeah, shit,
So
shit. Oh, so so you can see like alarm clock is like very important. If you have a flight at 4 a.m., if you put an alarm of 3:30, or no, not 3:30, but maybe 2:30 a.m., and it doesn't ring, you wake up at 8 a.m. and you can see like you already wasted your 10,000 rupees, right? So that is, I mean, that app in your phone is very much has too much of responsibility on its shoulder, and if that fails, you can understand like how devastating that can be. So that exactly that thing has happened, and Google like literally fired an employee. I mean, I feel bad for that employee. He should be fired actually, but something else should be done. At least he
safely,
should be
like
given a chance.
not just Google fired an employee. Like
Yeah.
Google got people fired. Right? That is, you know, people who are literally sleeping while they should be awake working. Right? They are like
Oh man.
fired by their managers, right?
Right.
You know what? Like manager, like my alarm didn't work. Right? That is how I was
Shit,
late,
shit,
right?
shit.
And he'll be like, yeah, okay, so you have an Android phone, right? You are not setting the alarm on the company iPhone, right? There you go. You are fired for using an Android phone.
Oh man. So
I
Yeah,
hope
I
that
mean,
didn't happen, right? Like just saying, yeah.
most really, most really, if that was the case, then it could have been really interesting. But I guess
Absolutely.
that did happen.
Hopefully, like fingers crossed, right?
Yeah, yeah, right.
I mean, like, when you think about the apps, right? Like the
Yes,
criticality of stuff, like let's say, like, your note apps field, right? Like,
yeah,
I mean, that is absolutely fine unless you are like literally going to take some notes in class, right? I mean, you'll
right.
miss the notes if you're not at place, right? But
Yes,
it's
that
not
is
like
correct.
the alarm app, right? Alarm, like, people, lot of people rely on that, right? I mean, like,
Correct, correct,
you
correct.
can still wake up by yourself, but so
Yep,
many people are not capable of doing that. That is, like just waking up by themselves, right?
right.
So you get what I'm saying. Like, the alarm is very
Absolutely.
crucial for like most people, and this is one thing which has to
Okay.
be so reliable that even if the phone is shut off, it has to
Right.
turn back on and ring, right? If I'm correct, it does, right? You know,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
turn off the phone, it does turn back on and ring, like, So yeah, I mean, like seriously, like, Google has went to all the steps to integrate the alarm directly into the system. To the system is
Correct.
still aware that there is an alarm. It's not getting even
That
handled
is
by the
correct.
clock itself, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and still it failed.
Oh man.
I mean,
Okay.
right? Like there should be some redundancy, right? Like, if this
Yes.
fails, some other API going to take over that. Like, I mean, okay, this app was supposed to ring. It has to supposed to cause an alarm event. The alarm
Right.
event hasn't occurred yet. Maybe, like, let me override and just ring the alarm, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, right? So
Absolutely.
I guess this comes back to the the major thing, that is, I always have redundancy, right? Even if you don't have like a pretty we can say crucial thing, right? Even though that is the case,
Right.
just put alarm in, maybe like a
Yeah.
clock as well as your phone, right? So
Hmm.
that you can turn to both.
Right. Right.
So yeah,
That is
what I
very
do
good.
is I have two alarms, like two
Hmm.
phones, two alarms. I don't trust, both of them,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
trust, like, both, like, both combined. One of them will absolutely ring, right? Like,
Correct.
and I just don't have one alarm. I have series of alarms
Oh
within
man.
15
Yeah.
minutes intervals, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that will,
Right.
like, be like, okay, this alarm is, then 100% the other alarm is going to be waking me up, right? You get what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Right.
So at the end of the story, it's like, have redundancy, right? Even for your data, alarms, everywhere, have redundancy. Even in
Correct.
business, don't just use one bank, use multiple banks, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
That
so yeah.
that should be the way. I mean, yeah. Absolutely. You're gonna just rely on one service, even if it is pretty great. It might fail sometimes. So if it is really important stuff like banking or maybe alarm systems, of course you rely on more than one at least services.
Absolutely.
That is interesting. So
So
yeah,
yeah, let's go to next topic.
so the next topic is about Bluetooth. Okay, so I mean the Abram, I guess is it the same researcher who cracked Bluetooth this time
No,
once more?
no, and this is not just one vulnerability, right? This is a chain of vulnerabilities.
Shit, shit. So I mean, yeah, I'll like let Abhiram talk. Like I don't know like anything about that topic,
Like,
right? So
major two things, right? I mean, like,
yeah,
think about it. You have a computer, right?
right,
What
right.
is the worst thing you can have? Someone
I
getting access to your computer
yeah,
without your notice, right? That is the worst
correct,
thing.
correct. That's the
I
worst
mean,
thing,
when you
right?
think about it in computing terms, it is remote code execution, or you can say untrusted execution of code, which is being delivered into the, wireless interfaces or network interfaces.
Okay,
That
mhm.
is absolutely, you don't want it, right? I don't want it, and no one wants it, right? Like,
Right, right.
to
That
get
is
a
fair.
code being executed without your knowledge. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is what happened, right? Like, with this thing.
I see. I
So
see.
this is two sets of vulnerability. One set of vulnerability is that you can actually disconnect any device at will.
Okay.
Not just disconnect, you can even kill the firmware of the
Oh,
device,
I see. I
right?
see.
So there
Oh,
was a video where they
yeah.
were able to crash the whole headphones, right? JBL headphones with, you
Shit.
can say,
Oh man.
just a Linux computer, right? Just a Linux computer running normal, you can say, Bluetooth hardware, right? Just with
Right.
monitor mode
Right.
access, they were able to like literally take down the Bluetooth
Okay.
headset.
Okay.
That is like really interesting because one thing is to just shut it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second thing is to crash the firmware, right?
Oh man.
I mean,
Yeah.
third level of things is to like somehow kill the whole thing, right? Like the firmware itself,
I see.
that it doesn't really boot anymore. Like, you
That
get
is
what
the
I'm saying.
worst thing. That is the worst thing.
So that is the kind of vulnerability we are actually having at this point. That is
Oh man.
anyone being able to kill the device. So luckily, like I mean, all the laptops and mobiles are safe from this.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
the code, even if they can execute it, is pretty much, you can say, very, very, very contained execution. That is, you don't get the higher privileges, right? You just get minor privileges. And most of the only problem is with the ESP, the ESP32, right? ESP32 is the modem being used in most of the IoT devices, and some of the headphones use it. Like, you get what I'm saying. And ESP32 has the remote code execution vulnerability, right? And in case of actually the others, it is only just that we can just disconnect the device and maybe also kill it. So yeah, like killing is pretty worse, right? If you are a attacker and if you just want to kill people and maybe like making people sad, right? Pretty much easy thing to do now. And the funniest thing is this is not patchable, right? I mean, how can you patch a headphone, right?
That is pretty. I mean, you don't have even a method to upgrade the firmware, so it is not possible actually. And
It's
this is, I
like
guess,
it's
this is, I
like
guess,
go and buy
hardware.
a new one, right?
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
only
I
way.
don't. This
I mean,
is
at
this
that
like
at that
hardware
particular point, you'll
vulnerability
be
or
like,
software?
just going. It's like a, you can say, the software vulnerability which is really tied to the hardware, right?
Okay, so
You
then it
can
becomes
say,
very hard.
yeah, like the main problem is updating the firmware, right? The firmware is the problem here. So that is why I'm saying tied to the hardware,
Yeah.
right?
So I mean, with this ability, any hacker which has the knowledge of this thing can can basically break your headphones. That's what
Absolutely,
uh, you are
absolutely.
saying, right? Okay.
Headphones or health bands or anything, seriously, like,
Anything which is like uh,
using
a
Bluetooth.
kind of a wearable Bluetooth device, you'd say.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
I
So
mean that is
it's
because
also like IoT devices are also affected. Like ESP32. It's like very common, via like Bluetooth module, right? Like ESP32, not ESP8266, which is a Wi-Fi
uh,
module, right?
yeah, yeah,
ESP32 is a really
yeah,
common
right.
Bluetooth module. You can just buy, like, search for Amazon, and you'll be like searching Bluetooth module, and first thing that comes up is ESP32, right? And I mean, that is sad because lot of people use that, right? Like in the
That is correct.
projects,
Right.
and lot of companies also use that. So that
Yeah.
means those Bluetooth bulbs you have might have ESP32. So that means it has remote code execution vulnerability, right? Not just
I see.
you
I
can
see.
brick it. You can just execute code. That means the attacker can actually plan the rootkit into the bulb. Such a, I
Okay.
mean, the bulb is actually a node in the network, right? When you talk about it. So it's a gateway to your trusted space actually, right?
I see.
The light bulb.
Okay.
So in theory, by making it capture packets, or maybe like use it as a botnet, like the list goes on, right? Like there's a lot of things you can do with
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
node in the network, right? Like,
Right. Absolutely.
so yeah, like this is pretty bad because I don't think IoT devices will anyway be passed on, right? I mean that, like, that is pretty much
Yeah, I mean,
inexistent.
if it was like phones, people could have just, OEMs could have just passed an update. But I mean,
Absolutely.
the thing is that we do have wearables, right? And wearables in the sense, Fitbands. Fitbands do have feature update things,
There is
at
one
least
here,
in
right?
the MI bands, right? So I mean, I'm just assuming every other OEMs, yeah, exactly that. And where is mine? Yeah, yeah, this one. So this is MSP, but basically it is MI, right? So yeah, both of us do have feature update things.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean these devices can be secure if OEMs do consider this as in
Absolutely.
this is a kind of a devastating vulnerability. But headphones, no way, absolutely no way.
Headphones, earphones, like all those things which has Bluetooth. I mean, like those things which are pesky, like pesky things, right? You can say. Even smartwatches, the stuff where
Right.
even if your software is updatable, up to how much, right? Is it the Bluetooth firmware is upgradable? We have no idea, right? Like in my bands.
Yeah. Yeah, that is correct.
So like maybe like they can mitigate, okay, like let's say Bluetooth kind of malfunctions and can like resets to some defaults, right? Okay, you want to think like patch it up from a higher level, right? Like just ignore the Bluetooth, right? Like just reset, cut the power, reset the thing, right?
Oh my.
If
Right.
they see some kind of a like anomaly, that is one thing they can do without patching the real firmware, right? The real Bluetooth firmware.
Correct.
So
That is correct.
yeah, I mean, like this is pretty worse, right? I mean, how many times have we even just talked about the Bluetooth vulnerabilities? I mean, just in this
This is third time. Like this
session,
is maybe third or fourth time we are talking about.
this is like pretty terrible, right? This is one reason why I tell you, like, don't use Bluetooth in the public. Turn off Bluetooth. Like, seriously,
Absolutely, yeah.
Wi-Fi is
Right.
safer compared to Bluetooth. Seriously,
Correct, correct. That is correct.
and obviously, don't use your fitness bands to unlock your phones. Easy way to get into your phone. That is like
Yeah, that's the worst thing you can do.
just delete the lock screen. That is much more easier,
Right.
right? I mean that is how much insecure the band makes it. So
Correct.
yeah, I guess that is my advice to everyone, right?
That is amazing.
So
All right. So should we move to the next topic?
yeah, I think that's the last topic, I think.
Just checking if we have any uh,
No,
questions
no, no,
because
we
I
don't have any
saw
questions.
I saw three concurrent viewers.
Yeah, there are concurrent viewers, but they are not actually asking us any questions.
I mean, if you guys have any questions, just let us know. Uh, Otherwise,
We can have an
meanwhile, we'll
interactive
let's move
question,
to
right?
the yeah,
Interactive
yeah,
session, right? Like
absolutely. Right. So yeah, meanwhile they ask something, we
yeah,
can move to
I think
the
we can
next
talk
topic.
about one thing, that is why we are late. Right?
Oh man. So yeah, so as you can see this background, right? You guys have never seen this background. So this is my hostel, and I'll be residing here for more than I guess 2 months continuously, and then I'll be going to home and then coming back. So yeah, so basically I was like moving to this hostel today, and I got set up here. Everything was set up by 9:30 or something, and then me and everyone were like kind of hacking into the server of through this network to the Avram server because it was not directly connected, and because
Hopefully,
of that my
hopefully
IP
DIT,
stream was not
like
streaming.
hopefully some processor from your university doesn't see this, right? So yeah.
I mean, the thing is that this all, I mean, it's all relays, right? We are not kind of
Yeah, yeah,
hacking it.
yeah. We are hole
Yeah,
punching through the thing.
yeah,
That is, we
correct,
are
correct,
just
correct.
giving a way for Pre to kind of connect to my server where uh, you know like the RTMP server, right? So that is
Right,
how
right,
we just connect, right? He connects to my
yeah,
server, I connect to my server, and from there stream to YouTube, right? So that is that
yeah,
is how things
right.
works. Bluetooth topic was interesting. That is Jathan is saying, and
Oh, right.
Rushik 24. Can you show the exploitation of that Bluetooth vulnerability? Okay, like Rushik, like the thing is, I can't show you because I don't have it set up. But the thing is, there's actually a website if I'm correct. So Breed, like, can you like go to that? I mean, I think I have
Yeah, sure, sure, absolutely.
already shared
Yeah.
the PC
Okay,
Mag.
so the only thing is that my Anydesk session is lagging a little bit. I'm
Oh,
just
that
trying
is. I
to
mean,
do it.
I'm not even connected right to server.
Oh, okay, okay. You can certainly hear. Just a moment, like,
So I will like
yeah,
just first of all leave the link in the
yeah.
chat just for people to.
Okay, I have now. I guess it is in Face most surely.
Yeah, I mean now it's in the screen share. So
Right, right, right. Just a moment. Yeah, all right. So, can you like, I mean, share to my Telegram or something? Okay, you
yeah,
already
yeah,
shared.
sure, yeah, yeah, I have shared. Yeah, PC Mag. It's also
All
in
right.
the chat, right?
But you might have to go to Telegram because the YouTube video is open in my phone, right? So,
Right, right, right. Like it's already there, right? Shared with you, like yeah. I have put it anyway once more.
okay, so I have opened the link, right?
Perfect, perfect. Just go down, right, a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go, right? A YouTube video.
Okay,
So
so
yeah,
that's a video.
there is a video.
All right.
There's a
So
video
yeah,
where it
Rushik, I guess you
is.
can go to that video, right? Maybe later sometime. You won't see the thing in real time.
So you can see what is actually vulnerable on the bottom list. That is
All right.
ESP32. It has been hacked, and the patch is available, but no one is going to fix it.
Yes.
Qualcomm, no. I guess no patch is available for one chip, but other chips patches are in progress.
Right. Right.
But you can kind of see that it is not patched really, like
Yeah.
even if it is patched, who is going to patch it, right? Really, the your
Right.
hardware, right? I mean, no one is going to.
Yeah.
New headphones will be maybe patched, maybe like I mean, fingers crossed.
Right.
Let's not talk about like maybe having
Yeah.
uh, you can say like if your device, right? If you have a device which is basically having this particular vulnerability, right? Let's say,
Correct.
right? Then it's up to your manufacturer, right, to just patch it up.
Oh, I see. I see. Right.
And like you have to have a option to flash your modem, right? That is what this has to
Okay.
flash. Like I mean, we are not talking really anything else. Like we are talking modem, right? Direct modem. So yeah, like Android phones can, right? If you remember, like you do have a partition called modem where you can just directly
Yes.
flash the thing.
Yes.
But most of the IoT devices and also the smart pans, I don't know, right? I mean, they can
Yeah.
write some workarounds, but not really patch it up. So
Right. 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 That is good.
yeah. So I guess there is no more questions.
All right. So
Um,
we can go to the last topic, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just so the last topic is about Germany and its new law. So the new law says this that every manufacturers should support their smartphones, right? If I'm not wrong, smartphones for 7 years. I mean, support in the sense they should give software updates till at least 7 years. So what? That's I guess that's the policy of Apple. Like at least Apple does give not 7 years, maybe at least 5 years. That is also pretty good, but 3 years is not good. Maybe even 2 years is also not good. Many manufacturers only give 2 years. So the issue with not giving updates is this. that first, the visual effect is like, you are missing out on lots of new features which are being brought to Android or iOS. So, those generally those features are not useful. But if there comes a very good feature, then you are missing out on that. So that is like visual difference to every consumer, which they can see. But the inside difference is like, the security updates, right? The loophole patches which those updates bring, they are pretty much essential for your device to have. So yeah, that's why updates are pretty much necessary in my sense. And this that's
So
what Germany is like putting in law, right? That is pretty good for every consumer. Yeah,
absolutely.
man.
I mean, like when you talk about iPhones, right? I mean, they get updates for at least 5 years. That is how things
Yes.
goes, right? That is mainly because like how many iPhones are there out there? Like, I mean, not many, right? It's like we can just count it
Yeah.
in the hands, right? Which are being
Yeah.
supported actually.
13 or maybe 12 or something.
Yep, yep. So
12,
it's
12, yeah.
like it's like really, really, really a small number of devices compared to what Samsung is supporting. Like I mean, you might have to grow like 10 or 20 hands just to count those things, right? So you know maybe even call Lord Vishnu or someone to help us with the counting process with multiple hands.
Oh man.
But yeah, anyway, let's not go into that topic. Right. So the whole idea is that we have devices, we have a lot of devices where outdated software is running, right? And this outdated software is not just problematic. It is like it is the worst thing you can ever have. That is because there are CVEs like vulnerabilities which are documented, right? Like with a live demo, you can say, like of the vulnerability.
Yeah.
These are already patched, but the problem is if the company is not going to make a binary, which is not going to get into your
Then it is going to.
phone, then it's like the hacker's dream, right? There is already the
Exactly.
like the exploit for
I
that,
mean,
right?
the whole
They just have to put
cookbook
the
is given,
payload.
right?
Absolutely. So it's like just giving all the keys to the attacker, right? And this actually companies want this to happen because if people are afraid that okay, outdated hardware are going to be much more
Yeah.
vulnerable compared to the newer ones, they are most likely going to upgrade, right? And this is one thing, right? I mean, this is one of the things we need, but the second thing is the right to repair, right? With this,
Oh
that is,
man.
we have
Yes.
7 years of software support. We don't have 7 years of hardware support. That is the most of the times the same.
Yeah. The device will even won't last 7 years without hardware support. So there is no
Absolutely
point in giving 7 years of software support.
true. So that is why we are like extending. Maybe like okay, Germany people, if you are like watching, just tell your government, just
Exactly.
also add this to the thing, right? Just
Right.
just
Right.
add
Right.
hardware support also, and
Yeah.
maybe like extend it and make it like hardware is available in open market, maybe.
That is correct.
Then we can like import from Germany using eBay or something, right? Like the
So then
parts.
I'll like move to Germany.
Yeah, like yeah, I think Germany is a pretty cool place, right? You have those GDPR and everything. Internet is more secure. Like everything is more
Even
secure. They respect your
nature
privacy.
wise, it is pretty beautiful. Like you already live in Kerala, so like you don't know, you don't. I guess you might not appreciate the effect of
Actually,
having
I
nature
do, right?
besides
I
you,
do
right?
have like like few of my cousins there, right? So, you know,
Okay, okay, right.
I do know
I
how
mean,
beautiful it is, right? Yeah,
absolutely. The thing is that see, I live in I guess Ahmedabad, right? So if here we don't have that much of natural beauty, right?
absolutely.
As you have there, and I mean, you are having almost nearly equal to natural beauty which is there in Germany. So I mean,
Yeah, like the
yeah,
one more thing is not there. Like there is nature beauty, but the streets are pretty much trash, right?
Oh, okay.
That is
I see.
one thing
Yeah.
that will be totally different in Germany. The streets will be like pristine clean, right?
Okay. Okay. I see.
Compared to here, like here people do anything in the streets, like
Yeah.
the last thing they want is dirt in their home, right? So as long as they don't have dirt in their
Absolutely.
home, they're like fine messing up the streets. So
Right.
yeah, like it is all green and all now. It was greener before, right? It is going that way, right? Cutting down more
Yeah.
trees, and people are
Yeah.
like, I don't know, right? I mean, like just keep plans, right? Maybe like make, if you want buildings, maybe like build a multi-story building or something. Don't just cut down trees, right? Maybe also use plywood and those kind of things which are made from like sugar cane and those kind of things, right? I think compressed. Those are already waste, right? You can say waste plant material which is getting compressed to MDF, and I think yeah, MDF is one of the thing, right? MDF and I think yeah, this thing plywood. So maybe
Yes.
like build your house with that instead of buying maybe like
Right.
direct
Absolutely correct.
tree trunks basically, right?
Right.
Which will be directly contributing to deforestation, while the MDF and those kind of things most probably won't be, because
Yeah.
those are scrap getting compressed back to good. So yeah, uh, so I guess that is
Yeah.
it.
Right. I mean, today we were a little late, so we decided to not cover lots of topics because then, we could like cover these topics into next podcast when we will start on time. So this is why this podcast is pretty much short, but we
And
covered
again, sorry for the
two.
delay, right? I mean, like
Yeah, very very
it's
much sorry for
just
the delay. Absolutely sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was expected kind of that if I'm moving to hostel, then some things will go wrong and so some setup will take some time and those things. But yeah, eventually we managed to. I mean, not we, Aviram, right? Aviram managed everything, and yeah,
to hole
now
punch through the firewall.
right to hold things to that network, and now everything is in place. The next time it will be blazing fast.
Next time it's already punched, right? So yeah,
It's already done. So we just have to like throw the ball through the pin.
there you go.
Okay, so yeah, if anyone doesn't have any questions, we can just close this session, right? Even this podcast was interactive, and we loved having your interaction. There was like quite a bit of interaction. I mean, interaction, and that is pretty good. Thank you guys for interacting with us.
Absolutely. I think like this is what keeps a live thing going, right?
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
if
This
you
actually
want to
motivates
interact,
us, right?
this is good, right? I mean, like
Right.
gives us like it's not like you're just talking to camera, right? You
Exactly.
have
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
people watching. That feels different
Right. Right. Right.
compared to
That's the
just
difference. Yeah.
talking.
That is pretty good. Yeah. We highly appreciate it.
So
I
yeah, man,
guess
that's it.
then we should close the stream, right?
Yeah, I mean, like do like, share, and subscribe, and
Of
maybe
course.
like
Yeah, yeah.
comment, right? On the bottom, like what do you think,
Right,
right?
right, right. Do let us know how
And
the
let
topics were.
absolutely, and let's roll the outro, right?
Yeah, and we'll like come every 9 p.m. every Sunday, right? So till then, goodbye everyone.